Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Michelle Moten with Urban Solace Yoga and Wellness, and we are so thrilled to partner with the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy to bring you a month of fun and fitness right to your home. Now, today's Urban Solace Home Edition experience is pretty special because we invited our yoga friends to submit their favorite poses, which will be incorporated into our practice. This community collaboration will include a relaxing combination of both seated and standing exercises, targeting all of the major components of physical fitness, including strength, balance, and flexibility. I will offer many modifications throughout the session, making this suitable for all ages and fitness levels. But with any physical activity, we encourage you to please listen to your body, especially if there are any underlying health conditions or range of motion concerns. And remember, the information shared during this virtual class should never replace the guidelines set forth by your healthcare provider. Now for this session, once again, I recommend a traditional yoga mat to help minimize slippage between your base and chosen practice surface, especially during standing exercises. And once again, I'm surrounded by lots of pillows, which are a great addition under the knees and lower back during reclined positions. Of course, yoga blocks, straps, or bolsters are also encouraged, but don't forget, some of today's poses can be comfortably performed seated while practicing your breath work to our playlist. From here, we simply ask that you come as you are, do what you can, and have fun. So let's get started. We'll begin today on our backs in a comfortable reclined position. If you're taking care of your low back, you always have that option to keep the knees bent with the soles of the feet firmly rooted. Otherwise, go ahead and extend out the length and width of your mat, coming into full expression of Shavasana, everyone's favorite pose. And just invite the eyes to close as you take a nice, deep cleansing breath, stepping away from the busyness of the world and into yourselves, out of the head and into the body. And as you scan yours from head to toe, just take inventory of what you're feeling and how you're feeling today. And as you start with the face, go ahead and relax the areas surrounding the eyes and the brow. Soften the cheeks, even leaving that little cushion of space between the teeth, which will help relax the jaw and the throat in preparation for your Ujjayi breath. And now traveling into the neck, as you slowly rotate your head to the right, nice and easy, taking this opportunity to assess any tension that may be harbored in the soft tissues that support the head. And slowly bring the head back to center and begin to switch sides. Again, nice and easy, just allowing gravity to tug at your ear and maybe noticing anything different on this side compared to the first. Good, and slowly bring the head back to neutral. Now, release the shoulders away from the ears, even flattening the shoulder blades underneath you, making any adjustments to allow for that sway that may have developed in your low back. And then begin to release your hands by rotating your wrists, wiggle the fingers, even give your hands a nice squeeze, letting go of any tension in each of the digits and the forearms. And then gently allow the hands to come to rest. And start to awaken your feet, wiggling the toes, rotating the ankles, also giving the toes a nice scrunch. And then gently allow the feet to come to rest. Now from here, we're just going to settle in, quieting the mind as you start to awaken the breath. So maybe take that opportunity to assess your normal natural breathing. Notice any stuffiness in the sinuses due to seasonal allergies. And we're going to attempt to bypass all of that. So once again, if it's comfortable with the mouth closed, drawing the air only in and out through the nose, let's begin to lengthen and deepen that breath. Imagining the breath beginning in the base of your abdomen And let it rise all the way to your collarbones, only to release it in reverse. And just taking your time as you create this nice, slow, wave-like action, allowing one breath to move seamlessly into the next and back again, just like the tides rolling in and out to sea. But more importantly, embracing the calmness that comes with this new deep breath, because this will be the foundation of your practice today, from start to finish. So let's continue this quiet focus for 5 more deep breaths as we prepare to begin. Now very slowly begin to rotate your forearms so that your palms are face down along your sides. And one at a time, we're going to bend the knees, sliding the heels back so that you can root through the soles of your feet. And maybe even reposition so that your low back is comfortably anchored. Thighs are parallel. And from here, on your next inhale, we're just going to push with the feet to lift the hips up toward the ceiling into our first official pose known as bridge. So setting the foundation here, maybe feeling the pressure on the back of the head, across the shoulders, through the length of both arms. Even feeling the engagement of the glutes and the hamstrings, making sure the toes are nice and light, and lifting not just from the hips, but also the base of the rib cage, so creating a sweeping arch in the low back. And since we're just getting started, things may feel a little tight, so let's make it dynamic. On an exhale, slowly, gently, softly release the hips. And as soon as they make contact, let's inhale, lift them once again. Without rushing and without racing. Basically moving no faster than the rhythm of this new breath that you've cultivated. Maybe for each round, as you start to feel the muscles warming up, you can explore deepening the range of motion, as long as you're still working comfortably within your limits. So let's do 3 more. And as you make your way to that final round, let's go ahead and lift and hold it. Again, nice delicate arch in the back, good extension through the arms. We've received a lot of requests this week for shoulders and upper back. So this is a good stretch to start with, opening up the traps. And now let's exhale, slowly, gently, softly release. One at a time, we're going to bring the knees into the chest and wrap the arms around the knees. Nice slow circles to massage the back. Good, and gently switch the rotation. Bringing the knees back to center. Let's go ahead and lower the sole of that left foot, and we're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee. This is going to be a good assessment because we got a lot of requests also for hips. So let's go ahead and lift the legs together, coming into our pretzel stretch, making sure it's comfortable for the knee and the hip. And again, since we're not really warm just yet, I want you to ease into it. You can certainly maintain control of the posture by just slipping the hand underneath, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, and inviting the eyes to close as you breathe deeply. Good, and slowly release. across so we can switch sides. And just take your time, just like a gentleman's leg cross if you were seated. And again, go ahead and lift them together, taking note of any differences on this side compared to the first. And of course, if you'd like, you can explore the bind, holding on underneath, relaxing through the shoulders and the neck, breathing deeply. Slowly release. We'll uncross. Once again, bring the knees into the chest and let's roll to the side. Using the strength of your arms to gently push off of the shoulder. And we're just going to come to a seated position at the head or the side of your mat. And just sitting nice and tall. Hands on either side of the hips, palms flat. We're going to anchor with the right hand, and in this position I'm going to mirror you. So on an inhale, let's lift that left arm up and over. Nice, making sure that it's comfortable for the neck and shoulders. You can even choose which direction you'd like to rotate your head based on the comfort. Breathing from the base of the arm to the top of the waist. Good. Exhale, slowly release. Inhale up and over, opposite side. Gentle push with that base hand. And making sure that the sit bones remain firmly rooted. Good. Exhale, slowly release. Now one breath, one movement. Inhale, lift and reach. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, up and over, opposite side. And same thing, as you start to feel the muscles heating up, you can then begin to explore deepening the range of motion laterally. And this flow is for my mom, because like me, she is also taking care of her low back, so this is a good way to warm up the muscles and to maintain the range of motion in the lower lumbar region. And it primes us for deeper stretches in that area as well. So give me one more on each side. And as you make your way to that last one, on that final side, go ahead and allow that hand to come to rest. And from here, we're just going to switch the position of the legs. If you were cross-legged, just place the one that was in front now behind. And we're just going to hold this for a pause by walking the hands out in front. We're going to come into a position we call clam. You can cross the arms in front of you. You can extend them out straight. You can even use a bolster or a pillow to prop yourself up, placing it in your lap. But we're looking for a light stretch in the outer aspect of the hips. Again, you can also uncross the legs and just let the knees gently lift. And from here, begin to rock from side to side, loosening the muscles in the lower back right across the waistband. Good. Coming up a little bit higher, and also begin to rock from side to side. Noticing if you feel a different location of the stretch. Hands to the thighs or the knees, and also gently rocking from side to side. Good. Coming back to center, let's go ahead and uncross the legs and just rock the knees from side to side just to loosen the hips from that static hold. And now we're going to make our transition to hands and knees. So go ahead and choose which front edge of the mat you would like to position yourselves. And also, if you're on a firm surface, Feel free to fold your mat over in the center to give your knees a little extra layer of cushion, or you can certainly use your towel or a pillow, or even one of those handy dandy gardener's kneeling pads. But we want to set our alignment, setting the shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees, spreading the fingers nice and wide. And let's begin to flow through cow and cat. Inhale, lifting the chin, swaying the back, tilting the tailbone up. And on an exhale, nice arch in the back, tucking the chin, shifting the hips forward. Slow and steady. Paying close attention to what you feel along the way. And balancing the weight evenly between the 4 points that are making contact with your mat. And you can even give a little gentle push. This is also strengthening the upper extremities and the pectoral girdle, so across the chest. Let's do 2 more. And as you make your way to that final cat arch, let's pass through neutral table, bringing the big toes together, knees open wide, and we're going to take a seat into child's pose. Now, if you're taking care of the hips or the knees, you can always rest on the forearms with the hips elevated. Or if you'd like to deepen into the pose and you feel warm, you can direct those sit bones way back toward the heels, extend out through the arms, and even surrender the forehead to your mat. Or cross the arms underneath the head, or even use your pillow for support. But remember, this is your home base. So if at any point throughout today's practice you feel as if you need to take a break, you always have that option to come home here. Good. Let's go ahead and extend through the arms, palms flat. And on an inhale, very slowly begin to pull yourselves from child's pose. And we're going to pass through that neutral table, allowing the hips to gently drop, roll the shoulders back, lifting the chin, exposing the throat. Exhale. Gently push back, right where you started in child's pose. Good. Inhale, slowly rise. Let the hips drop. Roll the shoulders back, lifting the chin. Exhale. Gently push back. Nice. And taking your time, without rushing or racing. Give me 2 more. And as you make your way to that final hip drop, we're just going to slowly return to a neutral table position. Now, if you created cushion for the knees, this would be a good opportunity to stretch out your mat, creating a nice, safe, flat surface, because we're going to make our transition to standing. So we'll tuck the toes under. And once you've set your alignment, we want to keep the hands and the toes placed right where they are, because on your exhale, we're going to lift the hips up and then back into our first downward facing dog. And just easing into it, creating this nice little inverted V with the body. But certainly if you're taking care of the hamstrings, you can bend the knees, giving them a little slack. Directing your gaze toward the thighs. And let's begin to bend one knee at a time, alternating from side to side. And this would be Brian's request for today, loosening the hamstrings. We know that hamstring inflexibility is directly related to low back health. So slowly working those heels toward the mat. It's okay if they don't touch. That's why we practice. So let's return to a nice static down dog position. And now look between the hands, and we'll just inhale, step the feet forward, coming into your forward fold. And as you can see, I have my block placed here because this is a perfect prop to use to bridge the gap. You can choose which height is appropriate for you. Certainly, if you're able to reach the floor, you can omit that. You can also rest your forearms or elbows onto the thighs, allowing the head to be a little higher than the heart, especially if you're taking care of blood pressure or eye pressure challenges. But wherever you are, once again, assessing how those hamstrings and even the calves feel. Good. Hands to the thighs, scoop the tailbone under. Let's slowly rise up to our standing mountain. And just take your time, finding a spot on the floor to direct your gaze, just to get your balance. And make your way to the front edge of your mat so we can take advantage of the full length. And we're going to continue our warm-up now from standing, starting to heat up the legs. So from here on an inhale, let's sweep the arms out and around, sitting back into an imaginary chair position. And you can choose the depth of this squat based on how the knees feel. And remember, we want to make sure that the knees never overshoot the line of the toes. Good rule of thumb is that you should still be able to wiggle the toes, which will ensure that the pressure is appropriate on the four corners of the soles of your feet. And we're looking to heat up the thighs. Nice. On an exhale, let's slowly rise back up, standing nice and tall without locking the knees. And we're going to link that with the breath. So on the inhale, sitting back into your chair, exhale, slowly rise and squeeze the glutes. Good. Again. And release. Inhale. Even pressure in the feet. Exhale. Even noticing the core from front to back. Give me two more. Make sure you're smiling because this last one we're going to lower and hold it. And I want you to feel the heat building in the legs. Never be afraid of that sensation. That's how we build strength. Working the quads, hamstrings, and the glutes. Nice energetic reach through the fingertips. Good. Exhale. Slowly rise up. And just roll the shoulders toward the back. Toward the chest as you roll the shoulders forward. Good. Setting the shoulders down and back. And now we're going to make our transition to the side of the mat. So just anchor through one foot and we're going to step back and give me a quarter turn so we're facing each other. And from this position, I will mirror you once again. So nice wide stance. This time, heels in, toes slightly out. We're going to bring the hands to heart center. And then go ahead and bend the knees. Same thing, I want you to take a peek to make sure that you can see your toes beyond the knees. We're coming into a position that we call temple. And since we have lots of requests for hip openers and hamstring stretches today, we want to make sure that the legs are good and warm. So that'll be my contribution to our practice. So we're looking for, again, building strength in the thighs, both inner and outer, so the hip abductors and adductors, as well as the quads and hamstrings. And this is different from a traditional squat, so instead of leaning forward, I want you to try to keep your torso upright, shoulders down and back, core muscles engaged. And my voice now is just a diversion from the heat that you're feeling in the thighs. So let's go ahead and make it dynamic. So on an inhale, send the arms up overhead, straightening the legs but without locking the knees. And then exhale, hands back to heart center, lowering back into that low temple position. One breath, one movement. Maybe 2 more. Feel free to try with the eyes closed if you'd like to challenge your balance. For that final round, let's go ahead and lower and hold the low temple position. So again, toes within view. Also toes nice and light. Shoulders down and back. Just close the eyes as you breathe. Nice. Inhale, let's straighten the legs and release the arms and just give the legs a little wiggle. Releasing some of that lactic acid. Now from here, we're just going to pivot that left foot and allow the right foot to pivot as well. So we're going to square the chest and hips in this direction. Again, making sure the toes are within view. And when you're ready, start to explore your lunge. Making sure the knee joint is comfortable and safe. And then start to correct the posture as you inhale. Send the arms up overhead as we enter into Virabhadrasana 1. Left side. (50-50) pressure in both feet. Even noticing the length in the rear leg. But remember the modifications. You can always adjust the arm position or release the arms altogether. And same with your knee. You can adjust the depth of your lunge. Remember, this is your practice. So we want to ensure that every pose is comfortable for you. So from here, let's exhale, open out into our Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. And just opening the heart and the hips. Directing your gaze toward the fingernails on that forward arm. Relaxing the grip of the toes and inviting the eyes to close here. Taking advantage of this heart-opening position to breathe deeply. And of course, remember the breathing also keeps you calm even in the face of challenging poses. So from here, let's inhale, send that left hand up toward the ceiling, right hand to the right thigh, or you can cross that arm behind the back, rising away from the waist, coming into our reverse warrior. Still maintaining that forward lunge, because we have a treat at the end. Nice. Inhale, return back to that Warrior 2 position, regaining the balance. And we're going to bend that elbow, placing the forearm to the thigh, and let's inhale. Send the right hand up toward the ceiling. Coming into a modification of our extended side angle. So we're not just resting here. I want you to push against the thigh to help you revolve open. If it's comfortable for your neck, direct your gaze up toward the heel of your hand. Because where your eyes are looking is another layer of focus in your practice, much like your breath. It also assists with your alignment. So from here on an inhale, we're going to rotate the head to look down. Exhale, release the hand and allow that right heel to pop up. And we're just going to revolve, sending the left hand up toward the ceiling. Now you can modify by lowering the knee and placing the hand on the thigh to help you twist, or you can stay in full expression. Wherever you are, breathe deeply. Inhale, rotate your head to look down. Exhale, release that hand. And if you haven't done so already, we'll go ahead and gently, slowly, softly lower that right knee and uncurl the toes. And this pose is for my dear friend Val, who loves hip openers. So we're going to come into baby dragon. So ideally, we want to make sure that both knees are at 90 degrees. If you feel the stretch here, go ahead and stay here and breathe. But if you'd like to explore deepening, just begin to lower the elbows and the forearms. You can even slide your yoga block or your pillow underneath for support. You can also explore the bind, threading the arm behind the leg and interlace the fingers in front of the shin. Love breathing deeply wherever you are. Even allow the head to gently drop as if you were looking to the rear thigh. Now, if you're a runner or power walker, or even if you enjoy jumping on the bike, hip openers are a wonderful addition to any exercise routine because tight hips affect everything above and below the area. Good. So from here, we're going to exit the way we entered. So if you found the bind, gently release it and begin to lift off of the forearms and the elbows. We're going to tuck the toes under on that rear foot and lift the hips. So now you're back into that runner's lunge. And we're just going to walk the hands to our center point. Nice flat back. Top of the head is reaching for the front of the room. Sit bones reaching back. Nice deep breaths. Good. Anchor with your right hand. Let's inhale, lift that left hand up toward the ceiling. Nice twist. Shoulders away from the ears. Again, you can modify by crossing the arm behind the back if you prefer. But we want to still maintain that same length in the torso, even in the twist. Good. Rotate your head to look down. Let's exhale, release the hand. Soften the knees, hands to the thighs, and let's scoop the tailbone under as you slowly rise up. Good. Now we're going to do the same on the opposite side. So go ahead and begin to pivot now that right foot. Allow the left foot to pivot as well. Squaring the chest and hips. Give a peek to your toes to make sure you can see them. And when you're ready, begin to explore the lunge. Correcting the posture. And then when you're ready, inhale. Send the arms up overhead. But remember, all the modifications we did on the last side, you can incorporate them here as well. And once you've found your ease and steadiness, go ahead and invite the eyes to close as you breathe into the pose. Good. Exhale. Let's float open into our Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. Again, allowing the heart and the hips to open, exploring the alignment. Let those toes wiggle just to make sure they're not digging in. And then when you're comfortable, inviting the eyes to close here. Nice. Inhale, send that forward arm up. You can release now that left arm to the left thigh or cross it behind the back, rising away from the waist as we come into our reverse warrior. Always check in with the neck and shoulders. And still maintaining that forward lunge as long as it's comfortable for your knees. Good. Inhale, return back to that Warrior Two position, regaining the balance. And begin to bend that elbow, place the forearm to the thigh as we send now the left hand up toward the ceiling, allowing the eyes to follow. But again, pushing against the base to help you flatten the back, making sure you're not just resting, a head to drop. And good extension in that rear leg as well. Good. Inhale, rotate your head to look down. Exhale, release the hand, allow that rear heel to pop up. And from here, we're going to begin to revolve. And once again, you can lower the back knee. You can even place that right hand on the thigh to help you twist. Whatever speaks to you. Inhale, rotate your head to look down. Exhale, release the hand to the inside of the foot. And from here, we'll gently, slowly, softly lower that rear knee. Uncurl the toes, making sure you have roughly 90-degree knees, both forward and back. Assessing how the hip feels already. And if you'd like, you can deepen the stretch by bending the elbows. And just exploring whatever is comfortable, which also includes the bind. Allowing the head to drop. Eyes closed, breathe deeply here. Slowly begin to unwind, rising up. Again, we'll exit the way we entered, so tuck the toes under on that rear leg. Lift the hip and the knee, so you're in that runner's lunge. And then take your time as you walk your hands to center, allowing the feet to pivot so that they're parallel. Nice flat back. Soften the knees as you send those sit bones back. Again, you can use your yoga block or rest your forearms to the thighs. Shoulders away from the ears. And we'll anchor now with the left hand. As you inhale, reach the right hand up toward the ceiling for your twist. Pushing into the floor with that base hand to help you deepen the rotation. And remember the modification. You can cross the arm behind the back if you prefer. Two more deep breaths. Nice. Inhale, rotate your head to look down. Exhale, release the hand. And let's soften the knees, hands to the thighs, scoop the tailbone under as we slowly rise up. Go ahead and roll those shoulders toward the back. Lower the chin toward the chest as you roll the shoulders forward. Setting the shoulders down and back, and just walk your feet in one at a time until you can transfer your weight to step in. Our next request is from Maria, who wanted to incorporate some balance with the tree. So, choose which leg you'd like to start with. I typically go with strongest first. Anchor through that base, and remember, with your base leg, you never want to lock out the knee joint. The knee should still be soft. You can choose to just rest the non-supporting heel onto the instep. You could base it out against the ankle. You could also transfer the weight and place it to the inside of the calf or just above the knee. You could bring your hands to heart center, and if you choose to bring the foot into the thigh or the calf, you want to create an opposition of forces, so the foot is pushing against the leg and the leg is pushing back with equal force. Just like me pushing my hands together. And then if you'd like, you can even send your branches up toward the sky. engaging the core, rising away from the waist. And it's okay if your tree sways. That's what they do in the breeze. Nice. Hands to heart center. Go ahead and rotate the knee forward, and we will release. Give the legs a little wiggle. And now let's switch sides. Again, anchoring with your base without locking the knee. Now that you know the options, choose what feels comfortable for you on this side. Release, and give the legs a little wiggle. Now we're going to make our way back to the front edge of the mat. Standing nice and tall, let's inhale, send the arms up, and on an exhale, fold forward, hinging from the hips. And just take your time because the hamstrings may feel a little tight, especially from our standing positions and those strong balancing moves. Bend the knees even more to flatten the palms, and we're going to step one foot at a time back into plank and up push-up position. Nice strong core. Shoulders away from the ears, scooping the tailbone down and under. And remember, you can always lower the knees. Now from here, on an exhale, we're going to gently, slowly, softly lower the entire torso to the mat. Uncurl the toes, and go ahead and cross one arm underneath the head, and we're going to rotate the head in that direction of the hand. Our next request is from Kimberly, who enjoys bow pose. So from here, we're just going to bend the knee. If you have a yoga strap or a towel, you can actually lasso your foot. You can even rest onto your forearm if you'd like a little height, as long as you're not taking care of lower lumbar disc trauma. You can reach back for the bind of your pant leg or even the bind of your ankle. Now, the key here for bow is that we are stretching the quad, but we don't want to pull the heel toward the glutes. I actually want you to push your foot into your hand or push against the resistance of your towel or your yoga strap. Making sure the thighs are parallel as well. Also give a check to the neck and shoulders too. So there are many stages that you can certainly go through before you attempt full expression. So listen to your body and what's comfortable for you. So we're going to take it one side at a time. So go ahead and release, and let's switch. Same thing, if you'd like to use your yoga strap, you can wrap around the ankle or reach for your pant leg or the bind. Pushing the foot into the hand or shin into the hand, or just providing resistance against your yoga strap. Thighs are parallel. Good, and gently release. Now, if you'd like, you can attempt both sides at once for full expression of both. So taking your time, pushing the feet into the hands, noticing the resistance, but also the gentle stretch across the shoulder and the chest. And as you breathe, you may even notice a little rocking on the abdomen and the hips. Nice. Gently release. Hands underneath the shoulders. Strong move. We'll push up and back into child's pose. And this is a good counter pose because bow does provide a gentle back bend, and we want to make sure that anytime we have moments of work, we have moments of rest. Good. And slowly rise up on an inhale. And we'll walk the knees to one side, lower the hips to the other, slide the hands back, and just swing your feet forward. Give a peek behind you to make sure that you have enough space. We're going to make our transition to the back. So extend through the arms and slowly, gently, softly unroll. As soon as the back of the head makes contact, go ahead and float the arms behind the back. Let's draw the knees into the chest one at a time. Lifting both feet up toward the ceiling, maintaining a slight bend in the knees. And yes, it's time for some core work. So on an exhale, let's lift the head and shoulders, reaching nice and high for the ankles, for the shins, feeling your back pushing into the floor, seeking out that contraction from the base of the rib cage to the top of the waist. And now let's make it dynamic. Inhale, send the arms back, releasing the head and shoulders. Exhale to lift and reach. And just taking your time. If you're taking care of the low back, remember you can bend the knees and still achieve the same action in the core. You could also place the hands behind the head for support instead. Give me 3 more. Good, let's lift and hold that last one, reaching nice and high. Smile. Nice. And slowly unroll. Let's bring the knees into the chest, wrap the arms around the knees, nice slow circles to massage the back. And gently switch the rotation. Knees back to center. Let's open the arms out into a T. You could also bend the elbows if you'd like a football goal post. We're just going to lower the knees to one side, moving into our spinal twist. Sometimes if I'm feeling a little tight in the back, I even provide a little downward pressure. And then if it's comfortable for the neck and shoulders, you can rotate your head in the opposite direction. And just take a moment to let the body relax, breathing into the twist. Imagining your spine is like a dish sponge and you're wringing out all that old synovial fluid, inviting oxygen-rich blood to come and nourish those tight, tense areas. Good, let's inhale. Slowly float the knees back through center. Exhale completely, gently release them to the floor on the opposite side. Again, you can provide a little downward pressure on the tops of the knees if you'd like. You can adjust the knee tuck based on where you'd like to feel that twisting stretch in your back. And then invite the eyes to close as you settle in. Enjoying the sensations of this spinal twist. Inhale, let's float the knees back through center. Place your hands on the top edges of your knees and let's exhale. Lift the head and shoulders, tucking in nice and tight to your cannonball. You could even reach down for your feet for better leverage. And then slowly unroll. Releasing the shoulders and the back of the head and then guiding one foot at a time to your mat. Holding here for one moment as you place your arms down to your sides once again. And on an inhale, let's lift back into that bridge that we started with. I often like to bookend my practice, just so I can see a difference from my baseline to the end. Thighs are parallel, squeezing the glutes. Nice reach with the hips and the rib cage. One more deep breath. And let's exhale. Slowly, gently, softly release. And as soon as your hips make contact, you get to choose how you'd like to close out your practice today. You could stay with the knees bent, or you can extend your legs out the length and width of your mat, ending where we began. But hopefully things feel a little different from when you started. You can also close with your hands on your abdomen to feel your breath, or release them down to your sides with your palms facing up, coming into the true anatomical position so that there's no holding on. With the eyes closed, give me one more deep cleansing breath as you return to your normal natural rate. Softening the face with a smile, honoring yourselves for taking this time out today to do something just for you. Now give yourselves permission to truly release as you savor the fruits of your practice. Simply take rest. Very slowly, begin to bring your awareness back to your extremities by wiggling your fingers and your toes and rotating your wrists and your ankles. And slowly sweep the arms back behind you for one final torso stretch as you reach through the fingers and toes, arching the back, taking a deep breath here. And let's relax the spine, drawing the knees into your chest one at a time, wrapping the arms around the knees, giving yourselves another big hug today. And slowly roll to your side, holding here for 3 deep, easy breaths, preparing the mind and body to make that transition back into your day. And only when you're ready, using the strength of your arms, let's slowly rise up to a comfortable seated position at the head of your mats. Closing our practice, bringing our hands at heart center, whether it's hand over the heart or in the Anjali Mudra, and just invite the eyes to close one final time. In closing, I'd like to leave you with a quote from Helen Keller, who writes, quote, "The most beautiful things in life can neither be seen nor heard, but must be felt within the heart." I'd like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank each of you for practicing with us today and inviting us into your home. And a special thanks to our wonderful friends at the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy for hosting us on their Facebook page today as well. For more information on our wellness programs and services, please visit us our Urban Solace Studio page right here on Facebook or at urbansolacestudio.com. From our home to yours, stay safe and namaste.